African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of July 22, 2025. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of Forces have improved their tactical position. The manpower and equipment of the mechanized, airborne assault brigades, airborne assault, and assault regiments of the armed forces of Ukraine were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Rzevka, Yunakovka, Kripovshchina, Varakino, Sadki, and Kondratovka in the Sumy region. In the Kharkov direction, units of the Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the Territorial Defense Brigade were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Volchansk, Gadish, and Melov in the Kharkov region. That the Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 130 servicemen, 3 vehicles, 4 artillery pieces, and an electronic warfare station. Units of the West Group of Forces improved their position along the front line. They defeated formations of 3 mechanized brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and a Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Osinovo, Petropavlivka, and Kupiansk in the Kharkiv region. That the enemy's losses amounted to more than 210 servicemen, 2 combat armored vehicles, including a US-made Max Pro armored vehicle, 16 vehicles, and 2 field artillery pieces. 3 electronic warfare stations and 8 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the Southern Group of Forces took up more advantageous lines and positions. The manpower and equipment of 5 mechanized, mountain assault, and airmobile brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Seversk, Klebenbyk, Zvanovka, Konstantinovka, Chasov Yar, and Sherbanovka of the Donetsk People's Republic. That the enemy lost up to 215 servicemen, 3 armored combat vehicles, including a US-made HMMWV armored vehicle, 5 pickups, and an artillery piece. An electronic warfare station and 5 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces actively liberated the settlement of Novotoretsk of the Donetsk People's Republic. Formations of 2 mechanized, airborne assault brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and 2 territorial defense brigades were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Pershi-Travnya, Krasnoarmysk, Petrovskoy, Yudaknoy, Poltavka of the Donetsk People's Republic, and Filia of the Dnipropetrovsk region. The losses of the Ukrainian armed formations amounted to 365 servicemen, 2 combat armored vehicles, 2 cars, as well as 6 field artillery guns, including the 155mm self-propelled artillery unit Braveheart made in Great Britain. Units of the East Troop Group continued to advance deep into the enemy's defense. Defeated personnel and equipment of the Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the Marine Brigade, and the Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Velikomikhailovka, Malievka in the Dnipropetrovsk region, Zeleny in the Donetsk People's Republic, and Timirivka in the Zaporizhia region. That the armed forces of Ukraine lost over 195 servicemen, 3 armored combat vehicles, 7 cars, an artillery gun, and an ammunition depot. Units of the Dnieper Troop Group inflicted damage on formations of the Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Kamensky in the Zaporizhia region, Pridniprovsk, and Pervomysk in the Kherson region. That up to 65 servicemen, 5 cars, a field artillery gun, 5 electronic warfare stations, and an ammunition depot were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the Russian Armed Forces troop groups affected damage on storage depots and assembly workshops of unmanned aerial vehicles, a training site for UAV pilots, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian formations, nationalists, and foreign mercenaries in 143 districts. Air defense means shot down 2 long-range guided Neptune missiles, as well as 259 airplane-type unmanned aerial vehicles. Since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 664 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 71,722 unmanned aerial vehicles, 622 anti-aircraft missile systems, 24,297 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,577 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 27,710 field artillery guns and mortars, 38,560 units of special military automotive equipment. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.